Hey, good morning, guys. These pigs that heard me walking by, I've already fed them. This is right at noon on Monday. So, thought I'd get out and see what was out here today. If they're not happy. Yep. Yeah, it's hard to sneak away. Hard to get by these things out here without them paying attention to you. They was way up on top of the hill. So, oh, look at here. They're popping out. I seen a few of them in the yard coming down through here. Yep, and honeybees are on them. There's another one over here. It won't be long till we can be smelling and getting this whiff of flowers on the breeze. And probably be the wild plum be the first ones we smell. I don't know though, those dogwoods be floating through, but they're not near as pungent of a smell, a sweet smell, as the wild plum. It's pretty, it's got a beautiful smell to it. I really enjoy flowering because, well, my mom had all kinds of flowers, and I've done a video last year over at Mom's, and we looked through her garden at that time. So yeah, it's pretty neat to watch the flowers come alive and blossoms pop out. Yeah. Let's see if we can get across this. I just seen a little frog jump in. This is area right here where we get a lot of crawdads, little crawfish. So I see you probably can't make it out in the film. There's a lot of babies in there. Crawdads. There's a lot of them. It's just amazing how after a flood, we had a flash flood in here not too long ago, and well, this is muddy. Get over here, and all those little things just keep showing up. You know, that's pretty neat how that works. That as much as the water runs, it still has life of the little ones in it. Just amazing how God made stuff like that. His creation is just remarkable, and if we take the time to look at it, it's just neat how just to see things, how it's blooming out, and life just keeps going. Thought I'd take y'all for a walk out here today. There's not a whole lot on the readings, but the birds are starting. This morning, man, they was really active. It was raining though. I was wanting to get out because they was really singing, but we didn't. We stayed in the dry. It's hard to get outside and read with paper because it'll get wet and the ink runs, and yeah. I'm gonna have to cut me a new trail through here. We mow this for me. My son-in-law, he's got one of those zero turn things. I tried riding it or driving it, and it was like riding a Shetland pony. I remember riding one of them when I was a kid, Shetland pony, and that rascal get the jumping and bucking and would just send me right over his head every time. And that's what I was like trying to drive that zero turn lawnmower. I couldn't figure that thing out, so I parked it, and I got up against a fence and I didn't know how to get away from it. And so I told Austin, our son-in-law, I said, there it is, bub, enjoy. And I've not been on it since. But I told him I got better stuff to do than to come out here and mow. But that's all right. It was fun. It actually was. I just can't do it with people watching me. They were sitting up there watching. And that doesn't, if you're on display, sometimes we choke under the pressure. Well, I did anyway. So, but when it comes to Paul's evangel, we've got it going on because, man, this stuff is powerful. This evangel of Paul's, man, there's so much good in that. If a person will take the time to study it, to read it out loud, find things and read them out loud. Man, it's just pretty neat. I ain't not been walked up this creek here. How deep are these boots? See if water goes over them. That's some pretty stuff up through there. That's pretty looking waterfall. I wonder if I can get up in there. Let me look. Well, I couldn't walk up through there. It got a little deep. So I had to go back around and come through the timber and come out in here. So that's pretty nice out here. Alright, let's look at here what I've got from this. Just had it in my pocket. Let me see. Ephesians 2 verse 14. And there are just a handful of references tied to this. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 references. And I've gone a verse or two above them and below them to pull in the thought of that verse to get these references right. So here's what I've got on Ephesians 2 and verse 14. And y'all check this out. I come up through the timber and so here we are down here in the creek. But Ephesians 2:14 says, "For he is our peace, who makes both one, and razes the central wall of the barrier." Alright, so let's look at these references that I got to that, and we'll go from there. "Being then justified by faith, we may be having peace toward God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through whom we have the access also by faith into this grace in which we stand, and we may be glorying in expectation of the glory of God. For in him the entire complement delights to dwell, and through him to reconcile all to him, making peace through the blood of his cross, through him, whether those on earth or those in the heavens. And you, being once estranged and enemies in comprehensions by wicked acts, yet now he reconciles by his body of flesh through his death, to present you holy and flawless and unimpeachable in his sight." Wow. "For he is our peace, who makes both one, and raises the central wall of the barrier, the enmity in his flesh, nullifying the law of precepts in degrees, that he should be creating the two in himself into one new humanity, making peace, and should be reconciling both in one body to God through the cross, killing the enmity in it. After whom every kindred in the heavens and on earth is being named, that he may be giving you in accord with the riches of his glory, to be made staunch with power through his Spirit in the man within, Christ, to dwell in your hearts through faith, that you, having been rooted and grounded in love, should be strong to grasp together with all the saints what is the breadth and the length, the depth and the height, to know the love of Christ, as well which transcends knowledge, that you may be completed for the entire complement of God. Wow, that's the all-encompassing love right there. That's Ephesians 3:15 through 19. Wow. Now, to each one of you is being given the manifestation of the Spirit with a view to expedience. For to one, indeed, through the Spirit is being given the word of wisdom, yet to another the word of knowledge, according to the same Spirit, yet to another faith by the same Spirit, and to another the graces of healing by the one Spirit, yet to another operations of powerful deeds, yet to another prophecy, yet to another discrimination of spirits, yet to another species of languages, and yet to another translation of languages. Now, all these, one and the same Spirit is operating, apportioning to each one, to each his own, according as he is intending. For even as the body is one and has many members, yet all the members of the one body, being many, are one body. Thus also is the Christ. For in one Spirit also we all are baptized into one body, whether Jews or Greeks, whether slaves or free, and all are made to imbibe one Spirit. For the body also is not one member, but many. If the foot should be saying, "Seeing that I am not a hand, I am not of the body," well, not for this is it not the body. And if the ear should be saying, "Seeing that I am not an eye, I am not of the body," not for this is it not of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? And if the whole were hearing, where the scent? Yet now God placed the members, each one of them, in the body according as he wills. Now if it were all one member, where were the body? Yet now there are indeed many members, yet one body, in whom there is no Jew nor yet Greek, there is no slave nor yet free, there is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus, unto the end that we should all attain the unity of the faith and the realization of the Son of God, to a mature man, to the measure of the stature of the complement of the Christ, that we may by no means still be minors, surging hither and thither, and being carried about by every wind of teaching, by human caprice, by craftiness, with a view to the systematizing of the deception. Now, being true, in love we should making all grow into him, who is the head, Christ, out of whom the entire body, being articulated together, and united through every assimilation of the supply, in accord with the operation and measure of each one's part, is making for the growth of the body, for the upbuilding of itself in love. Deaden then your members that are on the earth: prostitution, uncleanness, and passion, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry, because of which the indignation of God is coming on the sons of stubbornness, among whom you also once walked, when you lived in these things. Yet now you also be putting away all of these: anger and fury, malice, calumny, obscenity out of your mouth. Do not lie to one another, stripping off the old humanity together with its practices, and putting on the young, which is being renewed into recognition, to accord with the image of the one who creates it, wherein there is no Greek and Jew, circumcision and uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, slave, free man, but all and in all is Christ. Let no one be arbitrating against you, who wants in humility and the ritual of messengers to parade what he has seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind, and not holding the head, out of whom the entire body, being supplied and united through assimilation and ligaments, is growing in the growth of God. If then you died together with Christ from the elements of the world, why, as living in the world, are you subject to decrees? You should not be touching, nor yet tasting, nor yet coming into contact which things are all for corruption from use, in accord with the directions and teaching of men, which are, having indeed an expression of wisdom in a willful ritual and humility and ascensions, not of any value toward the surfeiting of the flesh. Alright, I can't add to that. That's Ephesians 2, verse 14, and the references that is tied to that. And I get them all out of Paul's letters, out of the Concordant Literal Translation. Alright, so, and I'll leave these references down below the video so you'll have it there. So, anyway, we got this all done. Looking up through here, I noticed this tree right here. It's got a rock jammed up in the base of it. So that rock had to been carried by the water. Look how that tree the roots of it has grown, and who knows, maybe that washed down, but it just keeps growing. It don't have a whole lot to support it, but that little bit at the bottom, and it keeps going. Anyway, I think I'm going to snoop around down here for a bit. Got my water boots, and I want to check out some trees down through here and some rocks and see what we can find. There are so many neat things you get down in the creek, and may go up and get our grandson, get Colton to bring him down here. They're out laying the deer trail for their dog, but anyway, when they get back, we may come back here and do some creek exploring. That's always a good time. Anyway, grace and peace to you guys. Appreciate you hanging out with us. It's time to go see what God's got for us. You reckon? I think so. So grace and peace, and much love to y'all from the Knox home. And we'll talk to y'all tomorrow. See you then.